The grand iron gates of the mansion swung open and the echo of children's laughter wasn't joyful, it was sharp, mischievous, and laced with chaos. For years, the twin children of a wealthy millionaire had built a reputation not for their charm, but for their ability to chase away every nanny who stepped foot inside the estate. Beautiful resumes, endless patience, fancy degrees, nothing mattered. Within weeks, sometimes days, the twins would tear through every ounce of resolve, leaving exhausted nannies running for the exit. Their father, a man of immense wealth and influence, grew frustrated but powerless. He could control companies and sign billion-dollar deals, but in his own home, his children's hearts seemed untouchable. Before we go further into this powerful story, take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Hidden Hearts if you believe in kindness, in second chances, and in the possibility of transformation even in the most unexpected places. The maid had arrived quietly, almost unnoticed. She wasn't hired to care for children, her duties were simple: clean the polished floors, dust the antique furniture, and serve meals when asked. She was plain in appearance, modest in her clothes, and humble in her manner. No one gave her a second glance. After all, she wasn't the one being interviewed for the impossible role of caregiver. But something about her eyes spoke of a history untold, of struggles endured, and of a patience earned not from books but from life itself. The twins tested her almost immediately. They hid her cleaning supplies, smeared mud across freshly polished floors, and dropped food deliberately while watching her reaction. Unlike the nannies before her, she didn't scold or shout. She didn't even sigh in frustration. She simply bent down, cleaned the mess, and carried on as though their rebellion had no power over her. When they slammed doors or screamed for attention, she never retaliated. Instead, she hummed softly to herself, the kind of song that seemed to warm even the cold marble halls of the mansion. Days turned into weeks, and while the twins escalated their tricks, something began to shift. They noticed that no matter how outrageous their behavior, she stayed steady. One afternoon, after spilling juice all over an expensive rug, the boy twin waited eagerly for her outburst. Instead, she calmly brought a towel, cleaned it up, and asked if he wanted another glass, this time with a straw so he wouldn't spill. For the first time, he didn't know what to say. His sister, usually the mastermind, fell silent too. Slowly, the two children started to linger around her. They watched as she worked, her movements patient and consistent, never demanding, never conditional. The moment of true change came late one evening when a storm raged outside. The mansion felt colder than ever, and the twins, though they would never admit it, were frightened by the thunder. They crept downstairs and found her quietly folding laundry in the kitchen. Without hesitation, she made room for them beside her, offering warm milk and a simple blanket. She didn't ask why they weren't in bed, didn't lecture them on manners, didn't scold them for their pranks. Instead, she shared stories of her own childhood, of nights when storms frightened her too, and how she found comfort in small things: songs, warmth, kindness. The twins, who had never known such gentleness, leaned against her shoulders and fell asleep. From that night on, the mansion was different. Slowly, the tricks stopped. The pranks faded. The twins began to help her with small tasks, following her as she moved through the house. They learned to fold napkins, to water plants, to tidy their toys. Most of all, they learned to listen, not out of fear, but out of respect. The millionaire himself noticed the change and, at first, couldn't believe his eyes. The same children who once drove away every trained professional now clung to the maid, the woman he had barely acknowledged. One evening, during a grand dinner with business partners, the twins proudly carried in trays, insisting on helping her serve. Guests marveled at their discipline, at their newfound kindness. The millionaire looked across the table and realized that all the money he had spent on experts had failed, but one woman's patience and quiet strength had succeeded. It was not authority or wealth that had transformed his children, it was love, humility, and consistency. The maid never asked for recognition, never demanded a raise or a title. But in that house, she became something far more important than an employee. She became the heart of the family, the gentle force that reminded even the wealthiest man that some lessons cannot be bought, they must be lived. As the years passed, the twins grew, and their bond with her only deepened. She attended their school plays, helped them with homework, and guided them through their challenges. And on the day they graduated, they stood proudly before a crowd, thanking their father for his support but dedicating their success to the woman who had taught them how to be kind, how to be patient, and how to love. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Hidden Hearts. Your support helps us bring more inspiring stories of kindness, courage, and second chances. Sparkle's special request: tell us in the comments, do you believe love and patience can change even the hardest of hearts?